Okay, welcome back to Kenpo Drills. In this episode, I am going to show you a drill that I learned from an American Kenpo instructor. It's called Kenpo Flow Drill, and it teaches you to go from one strike to the next and works power patterns. So let's bow in, and I'll get you started on this drill. Okay, this is a really good drill. It's a stationary drill. You start this from a fighting stance. I also teach this as starting from a Chinese sword and lead into this drill. As I teach it, I'm going to first go over the drill, and then I'll show you the application. Then I'll emphasize the footwork, and then we'll do it again and emphasize the hand form. So, first thing is you're going to start with your right lead. And from here, you're going to do a right chop, just like Chinese sword. Okay, the first part of this is almost identical to 5 swords and 7 swords. It's pretty much the same opening. If you've known that far, you know what 7 swords is in White Tiger and in Tracy's. So this is the same opening, except instead of an eye strike, we're going to do a heel palm, then a vertical punch, all from a fighting stance. So there again, from your right lead, you do a right chop to the neck, then you're going to come in and do a heel palm to the face. The hand's going to come to your right shoulder as you do a right vertical punch to the solar plexus. Then from there, you're going to go back to a chop to the throat, elbow the ribs, elbow the solar plexus, back knuckle the other ribs, the left side, all with the right side hand. As you do the back knuckle, the left hand is going to draw back, elbow the ribs, right chop to the throat, and then from here you're going to do what they call a whip chop, where the the chop of the hand is going to whip right through the throat in kind of an arch or a crescent pattern like that. And then from here, this sets you back up to go into your repeating the technique. So again, from your right lead, chop the neck, heel palm the face, vertical punch to the solar plexus, chop the throat, elbow the ribs, elbow the solar plexus, elbow the left side of the ribs, elbow the left side of the ribs again, chop the throat, whip chop to the throat, and then you start over. So let's start with the application. This does have, even though it's a drill, it does have some practical application to it. It shows you how what we call shaping, where you set your opponent up from one strike to the next. So when we do the chop, the guy's going to kind of back up on you. He's going to kind of arch back a little bit as you chop it, probably to one side. Then you're going to come in with the heel palm. That'll further push him back, expose the solar plexus as you strike him in the solar plexus. That's going to bring his head forward. We chop the throat. The hands are going to come up once we chop the throat, which is going to open up your rib cage. So we're going to right strike the rib cage. He's going to lean that way, most likely bringing his hands to that side. Then we're going to elbow the solar plexus. There again, his hands will come down to the center if he does bring them down. So we're going to strike the other side of the ribs, which will arch him back for another strike. And he'll continue to arch slightly towards you. You do a throat strike, which will back him off as you do the whip strike, whip chop through the throat, okay? And that's pretty much how the application would work. So this could theoretically work in the streets if you did all these moves, one continuously after the other, and assuming the guy reacts in a textbook situation. So again, chop the throat, heel palm the face, vertical punch to the solar plexus, left chop to the throat, right elbow, right back fist, left elbow, left chop, left whip chop through the throat. Okay, now let's talk about the stances on this. As you throw the Chinese sword or the chop to the neck, you're going to pretty much stay into a stationary, but you're going to kind of start pivoting into your hard bow, because what you do is you know what's coming next. Okay, so as you start to pivot, you're going to use this for the power pattern and this for the final strike. Then we're going to use the power pattern of torque once again, because we're going to use a circular motion to strike the ribs. Then we're going to go back to a soft bow as we strike the throat. Then from here, we're going to go back to horse, elbow. Stay in horse as we do the back fist elbow strikes. Then we go back to soft bow as we do the left elbow strike. Stay in soft bow as we do the left chop to the throat. Go to a right soft bow as you do your whip chop. Okay, so let's go through those stances again. From your fighting stance, chop into the fighting stance. As you chop, you're going to use this kind of as one move. Okay, put you into your hard bow. Heel palm. Back to horse for the vertical. Back to soft bow for the chop. Back to horse for the elbow. Elbow, back knuckle. Back to a soft bow for the elbow. Chop the throat. Whip chop the throat. And repeat pattern on the right side. So let's kind of do these by the numbers, because this kind of helps new students make sure they got everything, because there should be 10 strikes with this. So you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So let's just look at the hand strikes at this third time we go through it. So we're going to do a sword strike or an outside sword strike to the collarbone or the neck as we go to a heel palm to the face, nose, chin. Get that body upwards. Then from here, we're going to go to a vertical punch to the solar plexus, back to a chop to the throat. Then from here, horizontal elbow, straight elbow, back knuckle, elbow, chop, then whip chop. Okay? This is a really good pattern to work over and over. It works for hand speed, it works for power patterns, and it works the ability to transition from one strike to the next and one target to the next. I also said I teach this 2 different ways. A lot of times I'll initiate this with Chinese sword. So as you come in, you do your inward block or your parry, Chinese sword A, heel palm, vertical, chop, elbow, elbow, back knuckle, elbow, chop, whip chop. Okay? Repeat pattern. This, like I said, will work good with a bob if you have one of those. Works good with the bags. It works good with a partner. So this is a really good overall drill that works great for group class routines as well as just practicing at home on your own or with a partner at home if you have one. So let's go through it again. Let's do this time with the Chinese sword. You're going to come in this case, with a right step, right inward or crossbody parry, full figure 8 motion, chop to the neck, heel palm, vertical, chop, elbow, elbow, back knuckle, elbow, chop, whip chop. Okay? Now another thing with this is you can change it up. You can, instead of using chops, use hammer fist strikes. Okay? You can change this to different hand strikes. Instead of using a vertical, use an inverted. There's different things you can do to mix this up. So work with it, kind of change it up, practice different ways and how you can use it. It's a great drill to have in your arsenal of practicing. So let's go one more time through the traditional way. You'll have your self start with a fighting stance, then you chop the neck. Left hand goes into chamber, because we know we're going to throw a strike next. Heel palm, right hand goes in chamber. Vertical punch as we go to horse. Left hand sets up on top of your right shoulder. Back to soft bow as we chop the throat. From here, elbows, we go to horse. Right elbow to left rib cage. Elbow to the solar plexus. Right back fist to the left rib cage as our left hand goes into chamber, followed by another left elbow to rib cage as we go to soft bow. Right chop the throat. Left chop the throat, right whip chop. Okay? Again, from here, chop, heel palm, vertical, chop, elbow, elbow, back knuckle, elbow, chop, whip chop. Okay? Practice that. Keep practicing it. Go over this video as many times as you need to get it down. So it's a great drill to have. And thank you for joining me on my drills. And we'll see you in the next lesson.